it's just making sure you stay focused on your light. That's what's going on. And I'm very excited about that. Just moving forward. Yeah. Had a chance to just just enjoy the lakefront yesterday a little bit, enjoying the water, and just letting the purification keep coming through. Water is very powerful. Yeah.
All right. So I know we talked about awareness for several weeks, and then recently we started talking about courage. Uh, is this something you wanted to focus on today?
We always need some courage. We need courage to transcend issues of fear. We need courage to be honest with ourselves. We need courage, to stand up what you know is real for you. So courage is very important to have that quality. And as we go into this transition of transformation, purification, courage is a vital part of that. And it's always been tasked. Can you look at yourself in an honest way without having some of your own bias, your own judgment of yourself? Uh, do you have the courage to go beyond what you've been taught in your family or the popular belief to vibrate your own frequency, to vibrate your own thumbprint? Do you have the courage for that? So those kind of things are important to focus upon now and continue as we continue to go through our awakening phase, our purification phase. So in this awakening phase, it's very important. Because sometimes when you sleep, you want to lay back because it's very comfortable, what you've been doing for a long time. And that comfort, you have the courage just to look at it and take off layers by layers till you get to being you. It's not easy sometimes to just be who you are, just be you. And are you comparing yourself to something that's outside? Are you look inside, so that's who I am, regardless of that? So we have a lot of this in this country. People kind of compare themselves to somebody else, be something else, because that's what their popular belief. So yes, courage is vital. That's what I want to say right on that right now. Unless you have some questions, that's what I want to say about courage.
I appreciate it. So we've talked about one of your foundational principles, the individualize, to harmonize. We've talked about making the choice to enhance or to stagnate. Choosing your divinity, or choosing ego, and one leads to stagnation, one leads to enhancement. We've talked about those choices being beneficial for self, others around us, and the planet. That's where I'm going with it is, how does one balance those things in your vision? There's a lot of collective talk around human rights and justice and things of those nature, where that's a collective thing. And then there's obviously, as we've been talking about it, starting with self, taking responsibility and really working through some of your own crap, so to speak. How do you see it? Like, how do you balance that? Is there times to go ahead and fight for the greater good? Or how do you look at that, Dr. Hannah?
Well, it's time to always have an ever-present state of consciousness about yourself. You always ask yourself how beneficial necessary worthwhile beyond you and for the collective planet. And you had to make a choice, what you see inside. Then you get down to a point where what's a priority? What's important? You know, those two things are very important to know the difference. This is the priority is important. It's association with something. And you make that when you make a decision about your priority, the decision become easy. What's your priority? Ask anybody, what's your three top priorities? And people have tough time, have problems. They say my job, they have my family, whatever that is, you got to decide. And what interferes with that becomes second nature, second to that. So in relationship, you say, this is a priority, this is important, this is acquaintance. But in this situation, your question is, in your life path, you have to decide what's the priority for you. There's an individual side. And I'm saying what I'm talking about when you're dealing with divine energy, like the sun, like the moon, like water. Though it is what it is. It's an isness, not an ifness. Okay. So my answer to your question is first define your priorities. If you don't know your priorities, you have some hesitation, stagnation. That's a problem. No one has judged you. You have to decide what that is. I'm talking about you wake up to who you are. I said you have a special power in you. You have special gift, talent that you could be utilized for the universal collective. It's up to you to decide if you want to use it. But most important, you have the courage to claim it. You have the courage to be it. And you say what this is, and courage to claim your priority. What's your priority? I tell people the most thing in this physical world, but your priority is breathing. No breathe, you go to the spirit world. Now, coming outside of that, what's your priority in this global thing inside of you? How you want to contribute, invest to it. That way, when you're clear, there's no stagnation. It is what it is. No one can judge you by that, but this is my priority. And you want to know how far is your priority? It's just you, a collective few. That's your choice. I'm talking about transcending, expanding that. Non-judgment. It just is what it is. Because I know the law of energy, the more you give and give, the more it comes back and expands. I do think when everyone have the courage to have the sunshine love, a lot of the ism, killing, I'm that kind of neutralized transfer. It goes away. But right now to then, we have our own selfishness. We have our own thoughts, our own priorities. If that involves doing anything that's negative, they do it. If it's positive, you do it. You have to decide. But whatever you do, remember this, you do it to yourself. There's no hiding from divine law. It is, but if you do good, you get good. You do bad, you get bad. Now, people might be a little lower frequency. They do something to get away with it for a day, month, even 2 or 3 years. But it still come back and bite you, because that's a law of energy. That's a law of divine. So my question is, what's your priority? That's the question I ask the audience. What's your decision you make? Did you go ego mind, divine mind? That's a decision to make. Do you want to stagnate or eliminate? That's your choice. I'm saying when stagnation in the medical science is causing inflammation, then you got a disease. There are many diseases out here. There are mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all type of diseases out here. Because you guys stagnated someplace in your belief, your action, whatever you feed yourself in food or in thought. Stagnation. What's your decision? What's your choice? What's your priority? Is it enough that you have the courage to stand up for it? Well, it is because of you. If you fall down, back up, claim yourself, forgive yourself. But if you kind of over rationalize that, you can have some problem with yourself. You become reactive. You're going to react to try to do something to prove that you're that, but really you're not. You're reacting rather than responding. But big question is, what's your priorities? What vibration are you cultivating now? The ego or the ego or divine? So I make it very clear, very simple. I didn't say it was easy. Make a decision, you get up. What am I cultivating in myself today? Do I choose to be kind to 3 people? Do I choose to be nice to 3 people? Do I just be? Are you conscious of the frequency of your vibrate each and every person you count? Are you conscious of that? Regardless if you're not conscious of it, you still are perfecting that, so it still come back to you. I'm talking about becoming a conscious being. Becoming conscious of your thoughts, of your feeling, your actions, your belief. Because whatever they are, energy is a real thing. So that's on the line with that. Again, know your priority. Know that's part of you. And like someone say, I'm at my job, I'm at my office, I'm someplace, but something that's very dear to me got priority. It's over with, I'm gone. I'm God. There's no rationalization. It's just what it is. I made the decision of what's priority to me, and does it include the advancement more than me? I'm more than a select group people, 100 people, 300. No. How big is your priority? What effect does it have? We all have an effect on this whole planet here in that thought process. I'm here to tell people they have their own unique power, your unique gift. How are you using it? It's a big thing. It's a big thing to know who and what you are and how you use what you have and what you was born with. And I say we all have power inside. We all have a gift. How are you going to use it with your priority for a greater good? Okay.
I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Now, when you're talking about priorities, you did mention some people might answer the job, their family. So I'd like to ask you to talk about that a little more. I mean, people that have children, should they make the children their priority? Uh,
I don't deal with shoulds because that's a control and the judgmental issue. I always leave it up to the divine. You have a free will and choice.
okay.
I'm saying you make up your priorities. That's what it is. You understand? So with a child, it's up to depends the quality of the parent. It's depending on how they did it, how they deal with it in the nowness, in the illness of it. You know, you think of people looking for the highest goods. But I don't get that you should do this. No. I mean, talking to a patient, I said, you have this imbalance. These are things you might want to consider to enhance your equal balance. If I'm teaching someone the inner arts, I'm talking about, can you be relaxed, responsive, rather reactive? Can you make sure you're in a sense of state of, should I say, serenity, and you keep your sheet down to your dantian, or down to your belly? Because fight is not a reactive; it's a response. It's a response. And we also equate what are you giving out to create this fight? But the bottom line, I have to ask you, I don't deal with shoulds. The question is, they got to make this. It's always about, I'm gonna give you 2 hours a day. Responsibility, receptivity. You chose. What's your responsibility? It would be nice. But I'm not here to judge anyone. I say you should do this. I'm not trying to dictate anything. I'm very direct. I deal with principles. Just depends how you want to use it. I just say courage is important for you have to stand up and be who you are. What to help you with that is knowing your priorities. You decide. What are your priorities? I'll give you a very good, I say one priority we all have is to breathe. That's a priority. We don't care, nothing that's happening. We want to breathe. That is a primary physiological priority. That's the many things you put on that line. What's a priority to you? Check your list. Do you have three? Do you have three? I mean, are things just important to you? Are they a part to you? Or someone is significant? Or someone is, it's 4 levels that's for the concern. One is priority. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is like it's important or significant or acquaintance. You decide. Starting with courage. Do you have certain courage to someone that you just you're a associate? Not necessarily important for me. Important sense of life towards my energy when I'm spending my energy. That's what's talking about. How you gonna spend your energy? Make a decision. Have the courage, the compassion, and creativity to call it what it is. This is my priority. My priority is to bring light to receptive, responsible people. I can't do enough unless someone's receptive. I don't want to try to use anything to persuade people. If I don't have a joy of receptivity, tell them to step on, because I don't want that. You got to have a receptivity shining. You ready for this? Yes. Are you ready to be who you are to the point that you might have been hiding from yourself, that you want to know more about yourself? That is your eternal self, divine self. And you use this beautiful body to help you more, to know more about this divine self. The body is a tool. The body should be praised. You can look at the body. How you gonna take care of it? Because it's how you can get your own lesson back to your divine. Because the nature of the body and the nature of the divine is two different issues, you know. One is selfish and one is universal. They need to go together in a balance. How you do this? You realize what you give, what you send, what you receive. And this body is let you know. It's a big field. You got to observe it. Are you having, you react to some people, certain situation? What's the nature of your reactivity? There's a point to learn. There's a point to purify. There's a point for freedom. I'm all about the freedom. I said receptivity, responsibility. Be receptive, get responsible. You move to another level of freedom that way. Because the interesting thing about freedom, being free beyond all of this sensation, but yet enjoy everything you are doing, free beyond it. Because you're working with it frequently of the laws, universal laws of energy. So that's what I think about the person, what they do their children. I have to ask, what's they, are the children a priority to them? If so, they will do what's necessary to take care of them. And in this country, we say, my job says this. I said, okay. I don't believe we have a situation where we cannot transcend. You've got kids, we'll find a way to make it because we got to spend ourselves. I don't think we use enough of brain power. Maybe very little we use and become like a parrot. This people say this, you should do this. You don't use your own creativity. It's another C word, creativity and courage. Then and being consistent and caring. All those C words very important. Today we're talking about courage and going forward that way. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
How does that relate to commitment? Let's say you have a life partner. Some people call that monogamy. You make a choice. You make an oath. And then maybe you feel different later. How do you see those things when you make a commitment to something? Is it forever? You know, that's what some people say it is when they go to the altar. Yeah.
Well, first, I understand they have these ceremonies, and I understand that's very important to some people. But my ultimate thing, I would say, anybody, we came back to the earth to get an education. And when you graduate from something, you graduate. Because that's your education. People go to kindergarten, they graduate, first grade, can't graduate, keep going up. You get middle school, high school, whatever, you graduate. I mean, you enjoy it, but you graduated. You graduated. And relationships can be on the same frequency. There's nothing against anybody. It's just like you came to a point of mutual understanding that we want to enhance the situation right now. This is a better frequency. Right now, we got a court of law kind of people got to fight, get things, this amount. Let it have all of it. I said we came back to be free. Some relationship can last like that. Some can last a long time, some cannot. But whatever it is, are you up to date, being free, motivated by truth and love? It's back to that. It's back to that, making that choice. Some relationship, I said again, come to my office. They've been married for 60 years and more. I say, what's the situation? She say, well, I do what I do. He do what he do. We do things together. So they get back to individualize, to harmonize. They know each other. They don't try to smother each other. They love each other. And so therefore, whatever you like to make you feel happy or joyful, do it. Whatever she like, do it. Now you have something together that you enjoy together. It's mutually beneficial. And I say in relationships, I think a lot of the relationships that I've observed here, they are attracted to their deficits. What I mean by deficits, you see the young lady there who, you say, well, she got something you don't have. So that's you get that magnetized to that. That isn't necessarily love there. when you have a credit, you both connect and you maximize that. So I mean, in order to do it, you must individualize. Who are you? Most people are afraid to say who they really are, motivated by love. They adjust to the norms of this society. And what kind of norm is that? When the divorce rate is going sky high all the time. Because it's coming from personality rather than soulity. You know, coming from so the personality got to keep on growing. You got to adjust with it, keep flowing. So I just want you to be aware that we are in Earth School and we graduate from situation. We graduate from people. That don't mean you leave. You just graduate from that frequency of that. Can you be friends? Yes. Because you always leave with a sense of love, cooperation, keep on expanding. But this particular frequency, this format was a good marriage or a good relationship. It's relative to the situation of your growth. It would be idea if everybody get together in those precepts. But everybody don't have that nature. They got other things to learn. And no one is qualified to judge them. Don't read no religious dictates. You should be doing that. Should, it's judgmental. And no one is qualified to judge. So the question is, when you get invested, that is invested rather than involved in the situation, are you honest with yourself? Are you honest with the situation with your partner, you know? I would say most people are factual. Maybe factual. They're borderline it. How many is honest? You factual based on how long you can be with the situation. Facts are not the truth. Facts changes. Yeah, facts this time I like you 5, 10 years. I don't, maybe that's check, maybe that fact changed. It was beneficial, maybe it changed. As long as you're in the physical plane, a third dimension, this earth plane, things going to change. Question is how do you adapt or change to change? When I say don't blame people for change, adjust to the change in a harmonious way and do what you do to move forward as one, but separate in harmony. That's warrior talk. Divine warrior. They claim rather than blame it. Punks blame, warriors claim. You don't blame nobody for this relationship because I co-created situation. I got something in it. What did you do in it? Claim it, release it with love and gratitude. Then you qualify to meet a higher frequency. But if you say co-creating the problem, you won't meet anything different. You meet a different face. It's like going to the university. You know what? I can't pass the class at this university. I'm going to another university. You still got to pass the class to graduate, you know. If you want another relationship, elevate yourself in your responsibility, your honesty, your compassion, your love, and your truth. Otherwise, you create the same level, just a different face, a different sensation. But you didn't elevate yourself. But there come times you do graduate, and I'm saying thank to you, where you allow yourself to take total responsibility for you and go and release it with love and gratitude. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Talking about receptivity, and you were talking about the courage to be yourself. You just talked about it there with being honest. How do you see vulnerability? Like I work with plants and flowers, and flowers, you know, they have to allow themselves, or they choose to allow themselves to be vulnerable, and so they can get pollinated. Sometimes that means a squirrel or something might take them out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you grow, how much vulnerability do you have to allow yourself to have, or how to choose to have? How much do you choose to protect yourself? I know we work with self-defense in some of our exchanges. But with these laws of energy, if I'm giving out love, do I need to protect myself?
You always need to be aware, but law of discernment. You say there's physical protection or emotional protection. What kind of protection are you talking about? I would say yes, but to protect yourself. I would say yes. But get back to your other question is vulnerability. As a warrior, I definitely want to be aware of all my vulnerabilities, and I use it to my advantage. Why am I vulnerable to this situation? What happened? Was it my awareness? Was I seduced by something? Would I had agreed about something? So awareness, vulnerability is a great tool for me. If I'm teaching, I'm seeing a patient, do I respond, react? If I'm teaching someone how to move, I'm saying, what is it? Do I get too attached to a situation rather than flowing the situation? So vulnerability to me is a way to make me more stronger, purified, and amplified. So vulnerability is a good sign, so meaning that you are aware. If you're not aware of something, I'm vulnerable. What happened? Either you are aware or you're not aware. Then you say, "What? Why wasn't I aware of this? I gave too much trust to this. I gave too much to this. So I put my blinders on. Or sometimes I don't want to deal with this because if I deal with this, I have to deal with it. But I would be vulnerable saying I don't know." And I said, no. Vulnerability is a benefit, like fear is a benefit. And it's a sustained state of fear is not good. But just being aware, oh, what is that? To keep you alert to that. And but have the courage to be brave beyond that. But at least you're aware. So the awareness is there. So they keep me alert to this body. It might fall off some attachments or sensation. When am I vulnerable to that? So we could always be aware of our top vulnerabilities. How people talk, how people look, how people act, our vulnerabilities. How did that affect you? See, people, that's why a lot of this racist stuff come down, people look somewhere and like they become vulnerable. I must be like this. No, be aware and respond. If you feel vulnerable, check it out. What is coming from? Where's it coming from? So I'm looking at it to change everything to a positive. You're gonna make that change. When it's dark, I'm gonna make it light, you know what I'm saying? When it's hurt, I'm gonna soothe it. So vulnerability with a warrior mind to say, well, how can I make my stronger? What happened to that? What am I doing with it? When am I doing it? See, I went, I said, what, when, and how. Those are my growth words. How did I become vulnerable to this? What was I doing? When am I gonna do something about it? I send love, I'm gonna get love. And love that means that you got a lot of karma. So things can keep coming. You don't get detracted from that because am I protected? Universally, yes, there's something, yes. Okay.
So to be clear, what I'm hearing is a vulnerability to you is something that we maybe had a blind spot or we missed in our awareness. It sounds like you're not saying you would consciously be vulnerable. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's a real, let's go back. I'm saying that vulnerability is what you can walk into and realize I wasn't aware. The vulnerability is a state of saying you feel what I feel like I'm at risk. And so what happened for me to walk into that? And I'm saying that use that to your advantage to enhance that, resolve that, whatever it might be you're vulnerable to. You know, uh, COVID out here, COVID, right? It was an international global thing with COVID. You say, am I vulnerable? Yeah. So what do you do to protect yourself? How do you deal with people? How do you deal with yourself? How do you deal with you personally? How do you deal with the environment? Those are vulnerabilities. That's just a global vulnerability that we have. And how do you protect yourself? What are the stages that you do to protect yourself? Well, hope you keep a calm mind, you get some good sleep, eating right, staying positive, doing the right food or supplements. Those are like how you protect yourself. That's just a small example, but there's some vulnerability because it kills so many people globally. But there's other more subtle things. I'm thinking more you off into a relationship and institution, individuals. You might let your guards down. You ask yourself, what made me do that? You have hope for people, and you know they're a long way from that. You become blind to that. They talk a certain way, and you believe that. So it makes me enhance my discernment, my sensitivity, just to be aware, to keep me just relaxed, aware of what's going on. If you become aware of that, not only just in martial arts, but also in your purification process, all your senses become more heightened in a relaxed way, not in a tight way, just relax. I'm aware. You can feel. It's just being aware and always vibrate a positive energy of love. That's two things: protection and awareness went together. And when they get past you to that, actually, what happened for that to happen to me? What was I going? What was I thinking? What was my belief system to this? Okay, in that kind of way, you know.
Got it. I appreciate it. Um, so as I've been on the planet traveling around the sun, I've met a lot of people, and I think I choose to keep my guard up to a certain level depending on how close I get with them. There's some people where I feel comfortable, and I guess this is the way I'm using vulnerable, where I feel comfortable enough to show them more of myself than I might show other people. Um, and so I guess I see that as an intentional vulnerability. Like I chose to let get down my guard, to be more intimate, to allow more energy to exchange. Versus some people, I keep them more at an arm's length. Maybe there is possibility for positive exchange, or maybe I sense something that I'm not totally sure about, so I keep my guard up a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that is there times when you let your guard down more, or is how do you see that?
Well, you become more relaxed as your discernment, your relaxation goes in. Yeah, that is correct. Okay, and you definitely say, okay, I feel more relaxed. You ask yourself why I feel more relaxed here. What made me feel more relaxed? You got what I'm saying? So you got to ask that question: what are people saying the same language? They talking the same thing. They saying something. That is the form of relax and also the form of seduction. They'll be both the same thing because that's how people could read. They know you like this. They talking the game. And I'm saying something that's another level for awareness beyond all that game plan. They tend to like the same music, same this, whatever it might be, because that's what happened. People come in. That's the first line. They produce sameness, and people get seduced by sameness, and the guard goes down. If you articulate, verbalize, be a certain way, people have some degree. Oh, I can talk this way, or I can be this way. And I'm saying, for me, I'm aware of people gain the sameness. I'm just relaxed, aware, all of that, and let them play it out. I'm saying, and I'm aware of the people. What I base, what I go back to on receptive, I'm very, very good at receptivity in regards to people's total energies, just aware and have an instant reflex as to how far to go. One, being a master teacher, you can't teach people beyond their receptivity. So therefore, you got to be totally alert to all of the innuendos they speak in, their body, their worries, all of that. See how much it comes from heart. HEART is the key. There's so many people that got to look a certain way, that can talk a certain way. Oh, that's just superficial. I say heart is substance. So learning how to distinguish superficial from substance, the key matters your degree of vulnerability, you know, discernment, purification of yourself. Because when people got to be too much into it, I'm saying the same with the same, articulating something the same word and all of this. Listen, that means nothing to me. I can do all of that. You haven't got in there close except through your heart. That's why I like dealing with children, you know. They come from heart. Adults have learned how to manipulate. They did these studies this way, showing people how they get seduced by people. A certain smile, a certain way, this way, that their heart is cold. But when you're pure and keep doing that, you can sense it. And when you touch someone, you know how tight they are. You look how tight they are. You know what they want to do before they want to do it. But also being nice, being real, will never, ever, ever be at the mercy of that. You give it. So I hear what you're saying. That is a way of doing it. Uh, the mind is a keen, way of relaxation and respect. And it is just based on they look like me or might sound like me. They talk stuff to the light. If you do too much of that, then that's a whole nother story. Just talk to me. Be real from heart. We got to end in a few minutes. I want to talk to you. Any more questions, I want to like answer some any question you might have before I end here.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Dr. Ham.
Mhm.
So I guess one thing I'm hearing and it's coming forward in me is as we walk our path and our purpose on this planet and this body, how much trust do we put in to our purpose and our path? Because inevitably there's going to be some people or situations that challenge and test us.
That's good.
And in some ways, they could even be our allies, even if they're trying to harm us.
That's
Because, yeah.
listen. All of, I want to so everybody listen today. When you start walking to the light of path, you will be tested, and being tested is a way of to test how you elevate or you stagnated. Nothing personal. You got to be able to resolve it within your own comfort zone, within you. I want you to understand that very clearly. And we're supposed to be tested. If you're not tested, how you know you know? And come to verbalization that people say something to you, they don't even know you. They might just curse you out because they never seen you before. They might talk about your family, your grandmama, anybody. When you start giving them power, you react. As a warrior, I respond. They have no significance to me. So what difference do they when they worried? They didn't touch me. That's a different world. That's a different situation. And their little words can't touch me because I don't, it's like water bouncing off of me. So you're supposed to be tested. I mean, this universe, their whole system is about testing education. They test you. If you're certified quarterback, being a physician, you're board certified, it's a test. You graduate, it's a test. I'm talking spiritually, you will be tested, maybe even more harder sometimes. And that's okay. Whatever comes, part of the path. Spiritual path is not necessarily an easy path, but it's a liberating path and give you more inner freedom. So let the test come. Just more you welcome the test, more the test doesn't come because you're ready. Whatever come up, it's a benefit for you to keep going in to go higher. Test. So it is. And that's how I see it. That's the way I deal with it. Because we always are being tested. Now you determine you create your own test. How calm can I be today against all this chaos? How can I walk to be relaxed and vibrate love? And everybody wants to talk yak. And you straight up giving mercy, but not ever, ever, ever at the mercy. That's
So
time.
how are some ways you might do that?
I mean, just any kind of way. I'm out now. I'm sending it right now
Yeah.
because I'm going out. I'm gonna go out, so I send it out there. And I look away.
And for those listening today, you would encourage them to do the same?
Well, 1,000,000%, yes. Because what you send, what you get. Of course, the people in the first start giving it might get, oh, that didn't work. And you would help to keep sending. But again, you're not at the mercy of people. But the easy one to start is when people talk about you. I said, we don't have no kind of relationship. I give you no kind of power. And you can't define me. One of my favorite saying that I created on trademark victory is self-determined. No one decides that except me. No one. So what makes you react to a nobody that you don't know nobody? I said they're a human being and you send pipe, I'm out. I send my hand, I don't send them out. People start shooting each other in the expressways, doing this. Somebody got a temper. Somebody did this. You run into my car, you got to be first. That's it. Okay, go. You had to know who you are, vibrate your energy, have the courage to vibrate your energy, and have the courage to know what's significant, what's a priority, what's important. You got to know when what's this worth to your energy, even getting engaged more. This is I'm talking. become more happy and freer, and you get more and more energy, divine energy, more perception, more intuition, all that comes up, and you know what it is. That's why you smile love in your heart. And some people say they want to keep more. And I say, okay, well, I understand. That's a free will you got. I make a joke sometimes. I say, you want to do it tomorrow? And we have some tea, okay? This kind of thing. This because I'm not vibrate this kind of thing. I don't have that. You will be tested. Enjoy the test. That means you're on the real path. And just remember, we always get educational tests. You need a test to get your license. You need a test to go to this. Everything to get exams. When I'm talking about a spiritual exam, you're gonna get that quick. And the people are gonna give it to you. But the biggest one, the biggest test, when you put the fire in your ego, because that's when connected to your more chaos, your ego. Ego mean edging God out, but I'm an egg geek. You know what egg geek mean? Edging God in. That's what I'm doing. You got to go like that, you know. Okay. I
Appreciate
want,
it, Dr. Hannah. Yeah, do you want to leave folks with anything as we conclude here?
yes. I say have the courage to be you and individualize or harmonize and always smile love into your heart. That's it. Thank you for listening today. Keep smiling till we see again, you know.
Right.